America great again. They have a point. America is not doing so great right now, right? Our kids' math scores are down. Our children's science scores are down. When judged according to international metrics, healthcare system's not doing so great. Wealth gap disparities increasing exponentially. There was an implied promise to a generation of Americans that if you do certain things, work hard, go to college, be a good person, you would have certain outcomes. And those outcomes didn't materialize for majority of people because baby boomers entrenched in decision-making positions lowered the capital gains tax so that the net worth essentially compounds year after year. And post-World War II, US leadership traded the domestic manufacturing industry for national security by making the US dollar the default international trade currency, which gave America the ability to impose economic sanctions on foreign countries through a US financial banking system, but consequently increased the value of the US dollar astronomically, which made it impossible for anyone to manufacture anything in America. Although the logic at the time was that Americans were supposed to upskill en masse away from the menial manufacturing jobs. But everyone here's too much of a dumbass to stay in school, so we just traded domestic manufacturing to Asia and the rest of the world at the expense of working class families. But if you don't read enough, it comes out as, let's go, Brenda! And it's like you have a point, but you don't have the vocabulary to describe your reality because you didn't read enough. You gotta keep reading. Beyond the hashtag, there's a book behind the word. You gotta keep going. You can go at your own pace, but you gotta finish the required reading, otherwise you can't have a conversation. It's just, we're all catching up to each other. Very, very passionate people, my MAGA friends. And I respect their passion to some extent. I do. They're like, man, Ronnie, I love America. I would die for this country. And I believe them. I believe they love America. And I believe they would die for this country, which is very admirable. But it's like, man, you're willing to die for your country. Why aren't you willing to learn math? Also for your country. Like do both for your country. Because I know you want to die for your country, but we're losing the engineering jobs to Asia right now. So we need less people to die for the country. You want people to do their homework for the country. Like do your homework for your country. Like actually sit down and show the working and like do that's a more efficient way to show your patriotism. Like if you take that I want to die energy and you put it into homework, you will fucking top the school. I'm telling you, it's sky's the limit. You'll solve a lot of problems. You'll create a lot of jobs. You'll increase the GDP. Okay, just like do your homework for your country. I'd rather die. I thought so. I thought that might be the case. Dying's easy. Math is hard. Make America great again. They have a point.
Hello.
I keep messing with stuff. Dying's easy. Math is hard.
That was a funny opening clip. I hadn't seen that. Who's that guy?
I don't know his name, but he is a comedian on the Daily Show with Jon Stewart.
I see. Okay.
It's him, Josh Johnson. You know, I like to play him a lot as well. He's a good storyteller. I haven't seen this. This is probably on Netflix, and I haven't seen it, but I'm gonna go watch it eventually because it looks like it's the whole thing is gonna be funny based off of this one clip. You know.
Yeah, that's where I'm maybe appreciate not having to pay for the Netflix account, but there's a few things I guess missing out a bit, but that's okay.
That's okay.
I'll catch them up somehow like this. So.
How have you been?
It's been a bit of a rough month, I guess, but this last week of it is getting to be pretty difficult. Just gotta kind of trying to squeeze by, pinch my pennies or whatever, but it's only so much you can squeeze blood from a stone. So I should have probably set up one of those Venmo accounts or something already, but I got to get that maybe for next week because I'm a little too shy and maybe proud to be asking people for money, even though I need to do that as much as the next person right now. So,
right, right. Our term is blood from a turnip. Can't squeeze blood from a turnip.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
How's it going, Rondo?
Hi, Rondo. Old Spice Asian guy. Oh, was it? Oh, was he in the
Is that
Old Spice commercial? Maybe. Yeah. I mean, if he's saying it, I could see him in a commercial for Old Spice because Old Spice has those funny commercials,
Yeah, they can be funny.
which is totally up his alley.
They're just a little too ridiculous for me. Sometimes I'm not in the mood for them. I get annoyed at them. But
Oh, he's saying that's how he recognizes him. Yeah, he's on Jon Stewart. He's one of the commentators on Jon Stewart. It's pretty. I'll pull up another funny clip if you're into funny from the actual Jon Stewart with Josh Johnson and all of them. It's like about DEI or what have you. Hi, John H. and Jacqueline.
hello and goodbye, John H. Good to see you. Thanks for popping in. Hit the like button, I'm sure, if you don't mind.
Oh, in and out. Okay. Yeah, don't forget to hit the like button. Good job, Michael. We always forget to say stuff like that. Thanks for popping in, though. Appreciate you. I was about to say, oh, Michael, today I had the weirdest thing happen to me. This has never happened to me in my life. I woke up like gagging. I had to run to the bathroom and I thought I was going to throw up based off of a dream, what I was eating in the dream.
Whoa.
Isn't that weird?
That's interesting. Yeah. You had a couple maybe life changes recently that's maybe boosted your dream power or something.
I don't know. I just thought that was so strange.
Yeah.
I had to like throw cold water on my face and my chest and on my arms to cool my body down. I think I got warm too. And maybe it was like a hot flash and I just happened to be dreaming of eating while I was having a hot flash. I don't know what happened.
Sometimes you don't get to know.
These hot flashes are, there's something else. I'm going through the changes.
Well, we could say to Jacqueline, she's saying she's watching 2 Speed to catch up, but I think she can skip the music. Well, if only she could know that the music is like 10 minutes long or whatever, but she'll have to wait until she catches up to hear me say that.
Yeah.
So. Hello, Jacqueline. Good to see you.
Hello, Jacqueline. I'm trying to see if I could find this DEI video because it's pretty funny. I enjoyed it. But we can
might as well get some comedic relief because I wasn't really looking. I was kind of wanting to get back, touch back a bit on what we maybe missed a little bit last week because there's been a lot going on with these tariffs. I've been kind of following it from a distance a little bit, but there's like something happening every day, and it's globally there's a lot going on, so it's a bit difficult to follow maybe.
It's been way too much because I got a funny one for that too. It's been way too much with these tariffs. Like he pulls it back and it's on again and it's off again. It's on again. And it's just not making any sense.
Yeah. Well, that's where clarity is one of the important things, and there seems to be one of their main goals is to create all this chaos, this fog of war. So we have to try our best to cut through all that bullshit and figure out what's really going on. As far as trying to encourage people to embrace communism, I find it's difficult if we can tell everybody about all the problems about what's going on, but we haven't quite developed our economic language well enough or our analysis to be able to offer an actual path out of this madness, because we can point out all the problems we like, but that's not really going to get anyone on our side, because what they really need is a way out. So yeah,
Jacqueline's caught up. Don't die for your country. Do math for your country. Do your homework for your country. She's caught up now.
It's almost like too good to be true,
Yeah. It astounds me how many people don't really realize who would actually pay for the tariffs. Like, it astounds me how many MAGA people. I mean, I don't even know if it's political where you say MAGA, or it seems like a lot of people on the blue side understand it, but you could skew any. I don't know. It seems like a lot of people on the red side don't really understand what a tariff means.
They seem to be very eager to be paying for a trade war against themselves, and that's where it's like hard to understand. Like, how much do you really understand about what's going on? Because what you're saying, like, it looks like the blue side often knows a little bit, understands what a class war is, from what their rhetoric is anyway, except they don't really seem to embrace that they need to actually fight that war. So do they really understand?
Right. You know what? They understand, but they accept incrementalism. Like, we got to fight hard to get there. One day we'll get there. And if we could just fight the Republicans hard enough, we'll get there. And it's almost like they don't understand what control opposition is either.
Well, this
within their own party.
This dream that will never die, that the Democratic Party will one day finally see the light and be revived and restored to purity. So I hope that dream is finally taking its death this year, but that's a kind of prediction that's a little too easy to get wrong. I'm gonna have to stay off that one.
Right. John, don't answer that phone. You take your day of rest. Don't answer the phone. You deserve your day.
Yeah, it's difficult, I'm sure, at these times for each of us individually to figure out what's our best use of time here. I'm sure everyone feels the pressure that we need to be earning money, saving money, but there's this loss aversion problem where when we see the inflation writing on the wall, the more money we struggle to earn, the less we're actually making. So maybe it makes more sense to conserve our energy and try not to work, but then that might be the exact wrong thing to do. I'm stuck unemployed, I feel like, in probably the worst economic possible time in history to be unemployed, kind of thing, right?
Right. Me too. Me too. Strange times we're living in. I do want to say this. There's supposed to be a protest on April 5th. Okay. For those of you, Rondo, stay your black ass at home. That is not our fight. Do not go out there. Don't do it. That is the fight of the Republicans who are upset and all the Latinos who voted for Trump. Let them go. Let them go. You stay home and get your rest.
Yeah. As far as the protest movements at the moment here, I have to feel I haven't maybe done enough digging for proof, but I'm quite confident that the Democratic Party is putting their efforts into the kind of stirring up wasteful protests to kind of get their image back as like a rebellious fighter. They're saying they have no way of fighting the Republicans with legislation, considering they're out of power in all three whatever ways that matter. So,
well, they did it to themselves, because when they were in power in all three of the ways, they could have done a lot of things for the American people and stunted the Republicans for ever. But they choose not to. So
that's something I hope
don't
people
cry about it now.
Don't forget that little fact of history. That's something I think that Democrats should be pinned to the wall forever on. You know, that they could have really, like this, if there's any more proof that anyone needed, that they worked together in most ways, if not all ways, then they could have prevented all of this madness that they've been fear mongering the whole time. Like with Roe v. Wade, you got to vote for us or else they're going to do all this. But they apparently knew all that and they let it happen, right? So
they could have codified it at least, I think, 3 times so far
don't
since
believe them.
Clinton. So why run on it now? Like, bruh, chill. If they would have put the social programs in place, Republicans would have, like, if the Republicans would have gotten those programs, they wouldn't want to let them go. So they really did this to themselves, and now they're doing all these stupid, what are those stupid, like, ads where they're like they're like, it says fight, and they're acting like
that was the most ridiculous.
it's the most ridiculous. Well, they're acting like a game character.
So every week they try so hard to outdo themselves, and I keep thinking they can't come out with something more ridiculous than last week, but they always somehow manage to do it. So both sides, yeah.
Oh, Political Matrix is here.
Oh, how's it going, Marcus? Good to see
Hi,
you.
Marcus.
Sorry about what's happened with your co-host Chris there. Seems like maybe I was wondering if he might be coming back, but it looks like I guess not. But I think considering what happened,
fill us all in because I've been
right. So it seems like Chris went off the rails a little bit and was maybe probably too drunk to be on stream, and he started saying some things that he really shouldn't have said in the first place, and then he was just kind of tearing into an issue that they weren't even talking about. So it seems like it's something that's been kind of on his mind and just kind of festering a little bit. And so he kind of went off the rails on this abortion issue, actually. And it's a bit personal considering I think he had it was a son, I think, that he was probably asking his ex-partner to abort, and then she didn't want to do it, and he ended up being grateful that that's what he was saying. He wasn't, I think, trying to get into a rant. He was maybe originally just trying to say he was grateful that he changed his mind, and he was happy that he has his son to live his life with. But he was getting really like I think petty and selfish, like I've been through so much, you would never understand how much my burden is to carry. None of you could do it like I could. And not letting other people, like I was in the chat at the time, and I'm like, I have I'm a father who kind of threw my life away for a daughter who was not actually biologically mine or whatever, but there wasn't going to be a father stepping in, and so I did what I had to, made my sacrifices for the opportunity for a family. And he wasn't really listening to that, and he was talking shit about Teal and Marcus, his co-hosts, for no apparent reason. And I didn't actually hear until the next week when Marcus filled us in a little bit. But when I hear about their backgrounds of both Marcus and Teal, like Teal's lost a baby, from what I remember, and Marcus is also, I'm a little bit forgetting at the moment your personal family details, but I remember you also were telling me or telling us that you had children in your life that you were taking care of as well. So his comments were completely unacceptable, unfounded. Okay. And he just kept going and just destroyed his opportunities and relationships with people for apparently nothing. I don't understand really. So there's some tension between conservatives. He's a more conservative mindset, and like Marcus being a leftist. So Marcus saying he was married and a stepfather, right? So acting like we don't have skin in the game when we all do. It's like
Rondo says homie was wilding.
I don't mean to be bringing up all other people's dirty laundry or whatever, but it was a public situation, and I wanted to apologize because I remember you were saying you were a little disappointed that there were some people kind of co-signing what he was saying, and if I came across as doing that, I wasn't trying to, right? So I was just trying to maintain the peace a little bit because I always hear you guys saying whatever. You guys get getting some heavy shit, whatever. Might say some rough stuff, but you always end up like forgiving each other as brothers, and that's what I was kind of expecting. And then it's always a bit of a shake to my confidence, whatever, to see that kind of a relationship can fall apart like that. And it's like, well,
people fuss and they argue, and it could be a salvageable relationship.
it should
Only
be.
time will tell.
If he wants not to be, if he doesn't want to be too proud about it, I think. But it's on Chris, I think, to be the better man. Especially, I remember him saying things a few times. He hates bullies, right? Well, then don't be a bully, okay? It's that simple. So.
Well, we're rooting for you guys. I'll just say that. I wasn't there, so I don't know if I know some people think, I don't know. I don't think men should have that much opinion on the subject anyway, because it's not their body.
Well,
so, and if
feel free
you know,
to go and watch Political Matrix.
He, if he didn't want to have a child, he could have easily had a vasectomy. They're actually very inexpensive.
That's a permanent decision. I don't know if that's such an easy.
That's
choice.
not permanent.
We'll get on the whole. Oh, it
that's not permanent. Vasectomies are not permanent. You can reverse them.
It's not.
I mean, you run a risk. You run a possible risk.
Yeah.
But the probability of it being a risk for vasectomy is really, really, really low. So, if you feel that strongly about it, then you could always go do that.
Yep. If you.
Hi, Sean.
My dad's got that.
Your dad has that, yeah. And he could get it reversed anytime.
I was just saying, if you want the full story from Marcus's perspective, at least, you can go back and watch those. I think it was 3 weeks ago. You can watch the streams. There was one stream of the initial incident, and then the stream the week later. I forget what they were called, but just watch all of Marcus's shows wherever he's got pretty much everything he does is pretty good. So.
Well, he said he might not be coming back. He said that in the chat. Black Life, you okay?
No.
You said yeah, no. She's very upset.
Oh.
She's her first event that she's planning. It's a sports, community, and leadership event, and she was supposed to be able to charge at the door, and now they're telling her she can't charge at the door. So she's upset about that, as she should be. She wasn't even charging that much. She was charging $2 for elementary and middle school kids, $8 for high school kids and adults, and the high school kids, the adults who already have kids in the Boys and Girls Club, or kids who are already in the Boys and Girls Club, will get $2 off. And if you signed up for a membership, which would help the Boys and Girls Club, you get $2 off. So they don't really provide any funding, and then when you go to try and get it, they tell you. I'm sorry, I cut you off. Saying so they don't provide you funding initially, and then when you take the initiative to go find some funding, then they tell you you're not allowed to. That's ridiculous. And somebody, some boys and clubs, a different boys and club place was trying to raise money for a trip, so they were going to come to do the vending, to be the concession, sorry, and all the proceeds for the concessions was going to go to them. So now Black Life gets no money, does all the work, and none of the concessions. That doesn't sound right.
Outrageous.
You know, they
Bullshit.
should just do
Bloody
it on
cheek is what
strength.
Jacqueline's saying. You know.
And keep bragging on them about how they were so pivotal in my fucking life. Everything I say and do.
Uh-oh. Jacqueline says hi.
Jacqueline, my heart's broken.
Oh, she said her heart is broken.
I don't
Oh,
know how to love because obviously how I am is not doing right.
oh, I don't know if you could hear her.
Sorry to hear you going through that, Tosh. You know,
Try your fucking best, bro. You just try your best.
Michael
gotta
says
take
he's sorry to hear you going through that. Okay, so should we get back to?
Yeah.
She's she's about to take a moment.
Take it as long as you need. Okay.
Thank you.
Don't let them
They
keep
said
it
take as long as you need.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Poor thing, she's crying.
Well, everyone watching, please send some love, thoughts, and prayers for Black life. You know, we all need a little bit of solidarity when the time comes. So time's now, right? So.
Thank you. Yeah, so let's get on with the get on.
Yeah, you want me to share something here? See what topic.
Sure.
So let's.
Is Mars is Mercury in retrograde right now or something? Maybe that's why I've been having such a shitty week.
There's a whole bunch of interesting planetary stuff that's kind of been going on, but I have not been willing to spend too much time on that because there's just so much on this planet that needs to be paid attention to. So,
well, usually when Mars is in when they're in retrograde, it kind of affects the energy and balance of this planet. So it's kind of good to know when it's like that.
yeah, I was dabbling in that research for a little while. I think that it does have some kind of a subtle effect, but the way that people currently understand physics, they deny that. They say the planets are too far away, the gravitation not enough to have any significant effect. And that's if you only talk about the gravitational force and not the electromagnetic force and stuff like that. But that's getting into stuff that I don't really understand very well.
Michael, does Uranus go in retrograde?
I don't know. I thought they all go in retrograde. It doesn't mind.
You didn't get the joke.
Just don't let it prolapse.
Oh,
Sorry,
John H. missed what
I'm trying to
happened.
look for my tab
Tosh.
to share, so I was kind of missing the joke a little bit. But
Yeah, Uranus. So while you're pulling it up, John, it's just a event that she was throwing for youth, for sports, community, and leadership. They approved her to do the event, approved everything, and then turned around and told her she couldn't charge for it. So, but they're gonna get paid on concessions. So it's kind of real fucked up. She's basically doing what she always does. I mean, it's like she does stuff like that out of the goodness of her heart anyway. But she was, times are changing. She's hoping to make a couple of little dollars so she can. She was actually going to give sponsorships and everything to the winners. So, and use the money not for herself, but to build up for the next event. So yeah, it's really messed up. But that's what they do with teachers often.
did
you have to pull money out of your own pockets to do things for the children.
Yeah, they make you the motherhood of necessity, right? And they feel that you'll just be proud to be able to pull it off, and that'll be enough reward for you. But did you see John H's comment here saying you might be losing the house and having to move? So sorry to hear that.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
I hope that you don't have to lose your house and that you don't have to move.
Are you doing a GoFundMe or something? Those are
yeah. If you have some kind of GoFundMe, we can you can feel free to share it in the chat and we can plug it here for you. So, But let me get into this article here, and then we can.
Those are
chit-chat a bit.
becoming more and more important these days,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
it's unfortunate that it's not meant to be a necessity, but that's what they've turned into. So,
Right.
okay, so this article is called "Auto Industry Braces for Thousands of Layoffs as Trump's 25% tariffs already slamming dollar stock prices. President Trump fails to understand the chaos and damage this tariff will inflict on workers and consumers in both Canada and the United States," says Unifor President Lana Payne. I disagree with that statement. I feel like he completely understands. You fail to understand that he completely understands. This is March 27th, 2025, which is today. So, the latest volley by Josh Rubin, of course, the business reporter. The latest volley in U.S. President Donald Trump's trade war with Canada hit the struggling dollar Thursday and also hammered share prices of auto manufacturers and parts companies. And auto industry executives, union leaders, economists, and politicians are warning tens of thousands of jobs are on the line across the continent after Trump announced a 25% tariff on cars imported to the U.S. beginning April 3rd, which he previously faked people out, from what I remember, telling the auto industry that they would be exempt. So that old adage about America being America's friend is more dangerous than being their enemy kind of thing, definitely ringing very true right now. So by the end of the trading day, shares of Ford had dropped 3.9%, GM was down by 7.3%, and shares of Stellantis were off by 4.2%. Aurora-based parts maker Magna International was down 6.9%, while Guelph-based Linamar saw its shares fall by 2.7%. The dollar, meanwhile, fell to as low as 69.80 cents US in early trading before recovering to 69.90 cents by 4 p.m., down from Wednesday's close of 70.9 cents. The loonie has been on a wild ride in 2025, falling to a year-to-date low of 67.61 cents February 3rd, and rising to 70.54 cents February 21st. While there's an exemption for parts made in the U.S., auto industry analysts and economists have said that determining exactly what comes from where will be complex, given the thousands of components which go in. Excuse me. I don't know who's calling me, but I'll find that out later. My apologies. While there's an exemption for parts made in the U.S., determining what comes where will be complex, given the thousands of components will go into a finished vehicle and the highly integrated cross-border supply chain. Unifor President blasts Trump, these are not his jobs to take. It will disrupt the automotive industry across the continent, I believe they're trying to say. There's a typo there. Putting workers in Canada, the U.S., and Mexico onto the unemployment line, economists, politicians, and labor leaders say. The head of Unifor, Canada's largest private sector union, blasted the new tariffs. President Trump fails to understand the chaos and damage this tariff will inflict on workers and consumers in both Canada and the United States, said Unifor National President Lana Payne in a written statement. I think that they, once again, they understand full well what chaos.
I'm sorry. Wait.
Go ahead. Yeah, sorry. I should pause.
I'm sorry. Can you go back and add to stage? I messed up.
Yeah, I didn't realize if you wouldn't be able to add it back, but that's okay. Maybe I should blow up these words. I didn't realize they weren't.
Yeah, I think so. It's hard to see.
Is that better?
So, yes.
So comments.
Well, Sean says he thinks he will drive factory building in the U.S. I think they know what the point is. I think the point is, Project 2025 tells you the point. They're trying to destroy the government from within.
Yeah, there's this narrative about the controlled demolition of the American empire. I think we all should be, if not keeping in the back of our minds, we should be revisiting front and center right now. Because it does seem like that's what they're up to, doesn't it?
They're basically implementing. There is I'm going to pull it up. It's called, it shows you, somebody put together a website that shows you the things in Project 2025, what's been completed and what's in the process. So you can follow what's going on. Um,
Yeah, someone
where
with
did I
check box,
find
a
that?
checklist of everything in there, and they're checked off a few already. Quite a few.
Some are already checked off.
Yeah, I never looked through that whole thing because they did that omnibus tactic where they wrote a 900-page document, and only people with the stamina to get through the whole thing will actually know what it says in entirety. But I was watching on the Canadian commie. John Sanderson had done a couple episodes, or at least one episode, where he focused in on that, tried to read from the document for as long as he could. So I heard some of what was in it. So nothing good for
It's
anyone.
not good. It's not good at all. It's basically the premise is that that the government has failed us, and so the government should be dismantled. Okay, I'm going to play something, and then I'll show you this Project 2025 tracker, and I'll put it in the chat for you guys.
Let's call up yours then.
Marcus says we should have on Steve from AM Wake Up.
Yeah, you know who that is?
No.
Okay. I haven't really watched him lately, but I've known who he is for a little while now, a couple of years now. Because I used to watch Last American Vagabond a lot more too, but I kind of just had to step away from Ryan Christian's content because he goes hard, and you watch him every day for like 4 hours, you're gonna be feeling a little despairing. Maybe he's not trying to blackpill people at all. He always says that. Same thing with Steve, but that's sometimes the effect that you get because they're not willing to be so into the hopium that a lot of independent content creators actually fall for. So they're more realists in some ways, but from what I remember about Steve, he's more of an anarchist, which is fine by me. But I think what we need is communism, and maybe we should have him on to talk about that. That would be a good discussion if he'd be willing.
I've been watching the Midwestern Marxist a little lately, but I have been outside a lot trying to get my garden started, so I haven't really been watching anybody's podcast as of this last week or two. And then I was out of town for like pretty much 2025. I've either been traveling or sick, or now I'm trying to do my garden, so I'm kind of out of the loop. But this may be a good time to say, hey guys, like, share, and subscribe. And then if you don't know AM Wake Up, give them a look see.
I don't think they're on YouTube. They're on Rumble and Rockfin and those Odyssey, those kinds of Twitter, those platforms. So
Okay, maybe that's why. Cobra's here. Hi, Cobra. And
I don't know.
haven't seen
Hey,
my girl in a while. Yanina. Good to see you. Oh, and Nahilo Nordstrom too. This may be now that we have all these black faces in here, this may be a good time to also friendly reminder. April 5th protest, stay your black ass at home and rest. This is not your fight. Okay, so this is a good
he would be able to put us in touch with Steve. That sounds, I think, worth doing for sure. That would be interesting. I'd be happy. I appreciate that if you could do that.
Much appreciated, Morpheus. Much appreciated.
Gotta get out there talking to more people, I think, right? So.
Maybe you can come on too. It'll be like we could have a whole little shindig. So let me see. This is I have to find it now. This is based on what you were talking about somewhat. So I have to start it over. Let's see.
Yeah, I was trying to fix
because this
week.
Stock market has been plummeting.
Yeah.
And there we go. Here we go.
Getting your information from.
Who is that? That's not what I had on. Let's
Wrong
see.
video. Yeah. I don't know.
It jumps. I don't know why. There we go.
Market is the only sign of life, and it's only going up because everyone thinks Trump is going to win the election. You can't really watch the stock market.
We all saw the stock market soaring post-election. It reached an all-time high today, 82,000. Optimism everywhere. Just ignore the sky is falling reports in the regime press. Tune out the breathless reporting about market gyrations.
I'm excited about the economy. Look at the stock market. Our rocket ship is getting ready to take off in our economy with President Trump. We were probably overbloated with the stock market here for a while. We went up quite a bit.
You guys want to start with good news? The market's up 25% since you won. You tweeted this out that nobody in the media brings it up. So I said, you know what? I'm going to bring it up tonight.
Forget the stock market for a second here. And I have said on this program for years, it's never been my indicator in terms of the health of the economy.
The market always knows. So the market already started to kind of have this sort of rally, this sort of Trump rally. It's an energy, it's an electricity. We have to be very, very careful about all of this and the notion that we have to react as Americans based on the market being down. So what?
The stock market is the only sign of
So what? Oh, it's like they count on you having a very short memory. I just thought that was really funny. Old Man Barker's here. Hi, Old Man Barker.
What's up? As far as the market, it is something that we need to kind of be aware of, pay attention to, follow the news. But I have a hard time because there's so much hopium, right? And then, that's sobering. Sorry, actually, it wasn't. What we told you was bullshit, but we're not going to tell you it's bullshit. We're going to bullshit you about our bullshit, of course. So.
Yeah, I mean, they're just sitting there playing with your money. Bring back pensions.
Pensions off the goddamn stock market, whatever. Like BlackRock or WEF. I was looking at the shareholders of the WEF, and apparently Ontario Teachers Pension Fund or something. One of those Ontario pension funds is a WEF stakeholder.
Yeah, and the index funds and they're just gambling with people's money. I think BlackRock, Vanguard, and I can't remember the third one. They pretty much had their hands in, I think it's like the top three. I have a video for that. Maybe I'll look it up and pull it up for next week, which would be good. So I wanted to show the stock market isn't going to mean anything when people understand how much money the unacknowledged special access project financing computers are printing. Yeah, they just keep printing money that's backed by nothing. BRICS is on the move though, so we'll see.
More dollars in circulation than is actually acknowledged, allegedly. Yeah, sorry, I cut you off there. BRICS is on the move and stuff. I'm just not sure what moves they're making right now. Kind of trying not to be too critical of what they're up to, but then I'm not really sure if this whole de-dollarization is fully actually materializing like it's being promised, right? So
I'm hoping they're moving in silence.
I think like trade war stuff is a good indicator that they're not really maybe playing on the same side as the Americans. Otherwise, why would the Americans be so pissed off, right? So
for real. I just want to Morpheus wants to give a shout out to Teal, a new member of the Political Matrix. If you guys haven't joined the Political Matrix yet, you're missing out. Go check them out.
And Teal's great. She's hilarious, knowledgeable, insightful. So fellow cook, she's probably a better cook than me, or actual chef. Not probably, definitely. So anyway,
I think of doing a cooking show sometimes, but then I'm just too lazy.
Yeah, I got to get to the right equipment. Excuse me.
Okay, so I want to show you this. Can I show you that? Let's see. There we go. So let me put this in the chat for everyone. It's project 2025.observer. That's the site. If you want to check in on it and you know, just see what's going on, it'll give you it gives you the objectives from each agency and what they've completed so far. Now, of course, some of these things are basically they're going to have to be go to the court system. So they're tying up all of the resources in court and stuff like that. So they're pretty much just trying to get as much done as they can by executive order and by having all three branches of government before the next election, when they might possibly lose the House.
Well, based on personal experience, I know the courts move so goddamn slowly that anyone who is willing to actually go against them just needs to push hard enough to go, like, just needs to move fast and break shit, and they'll get away with it. So.
Yeah, exactly. Marcus, Jacqueline wants to know what time your show comes on. I can't remember off the top of my head. If you could throw that in the chat, that'd be great.
Can we blow this up a bit?
Oh, yeah, sure. So let me make it bigger. So a lot of this is stuff that, of course, the USA, that's Doge, which that dude is diabolical. I mean, whew.
That's why I can't stand and seeing people carrying any more water for Trump or Musk in particular. But basically, any of the duopoly people, even the Green Party, I feel like need to stop. Like, just when they've proven to not really be much more of a viable option than the other two parties, stop putting the hopium into it. But I haven't been around very long to tell anybody any of that. Not that people listen to me anyway.
People assume that they just go away until, every 4 years. But if they didn't run a candidate, they'd lose their status. And they're running against a duopoly system, so they do get candidates. They do get local candidates sometimes, but
I understand the logic of trying to go with them. I mean, they're the most established third party, and any other third party you back, you have to make up all the ground that they've already made to get to whatever marginal status that they got so far. But they're not committed radicals enough for me. So.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a totally different point. Yes. Yes, that's a totally different point. They're not left enough for you. So Political Matrix comes on Sundays, 7 p.m. Eastern now. Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern. Desert Mantis is here.
What's up, Mantis?
He wants to see your charts. Yeah, Rondo. The dude has such a punchable face. The boorish American man baby. It's like we have 2 man children in the White House now. Like, can you imagine? Jeez. Oh, so again, Project 2025.observer is how you would get to this chart, and you look at just click on objectives, and it'll give you details about what the objectives are for each of the things that they're targeting and what has been completed or in progress. And
so it looks, from what you can see with all those percentage bars, maybe a quarter overall progress, right? Yeah. So I guess the overall good news that they have less than 50%, but they've already got 25%. Overall progress 42%.
42%.
Yeah, that's pretty alarming.
It's only been like 2 months.
Yeah.
That's pretty fast.
But it's about making it stick, right? So stuff like getting rid of USAID, that's not going to be easily put back together again. So if they move fast enough and break shit hard enough, that's the whole tactic, right? Then it doesn't matter how much you want to restore it. It's going to take decades. So then people are going to recognize it. Might as well just call it time of death and move on.
For real. For real. I don't want to stay on too long because I should go check on Black Life because she's kind of really upset.
Time is now, like I was saying, when people are in the thick of it, that's when you need to be there for them, not too little too late. So
yeah, she was crying, so that kind of tells you how intense she's feeling right now. Let's see, USAID, all they did was move the covert programs into the State Department, so it is even more obscure to the public.
It's moving the deck chairs on the Titanic a little bit, eh?
Yeah, so I'm not too familiar with that, so I have to let you speak on that.
Yeah, not able to fact check the claim, but I feel that's likely the truth. But always got to have proof.
And I assume it's a lot like the dismantling the Department of Education, and people are saying, "What's the problem?" They're just giving it back to the states, and it's like, no, the states already handle their own curriculums. The state gets money from the federal government, and they have their own school boards. They have their own, so all of that stuff is already with the states. The Department of Education is to protect the children of these state-funded schools. So, like, for example, why is her name escaping me? When they first desegregated the schools, the federal government sent the National Guard to make sure that they could get into the classrooms without being targeted, stuff like that. The Department of Education controls making sure that children with disabilities are being cared for in public schools and not shunned off to the side. Like they're there for protection of students in those state-funded schools. So if you take away that, they could just treat the children however the hell they want to. And they don't want public schools anyway. They want to privatize them and give vouchers to rich people.
There's going to be a whole bunch of adults that are going to have to drop whatever they're doing to go probably take their kid out of school to homeschool them if they're special needs enough. The chaos that they're intending to wreak all that havoc, right? It is devastating, and it is intended to like de-radicalize people, even at the same time like infuriate us. But if our hands are full taking care of our loved ones, there's no way that we can act on it. So
on all of these things, there's too many things. It's too much chaos for us to react on. And thank you, Yonina. Ruby Bridges is her name. And also, you made a good point. Stay your black ass at home. I saw that one. The chat got away from me. So thank you for all of that. But yeah, the Department of Education, they haven't gotten to that part yet per the tracker. Oh, wait. Am I lying? I am lying.
Well, they brought it up recently. I know Marcus and Teal did a good segment on it. It looks like they're trying to privatize education so that.
Yeah. I'm incorrect. They have gotten to it, and they Trump signed an executive order directing the dismantling of the department. So that's been done already.
This week I saw it going after elections. They're gonna, because they stole the election or whatever in the 2020 election, I think it was. So they gotta make good on one of the promises to their base, the MAGA base there, that they're gonna clean up these elections. But you really want Trump's crowd to be the people in charge of cleaning up those elections? That's not gonna work.
And then also, I'm looking at this tracker. I guess I could just show you guys again. Okay, so here, March 20th. So that was like a week ago. He signed an executive order to dismantle the department. So that it hasn't been done yet, but the executive order has been signed, which means they can move forward with trying to do the work, right? So cease investigating Title VI disparate impact cases. So that basically effectively achieved by closing most civil rights offices. Staff say it will be virtually impossible to resolve discrimination complaints. So that's discrimination across the board for children in those state-funded schools. So yeah, they've gotten a little bit accomplished for that, and that's under. What was that under? Because down here, okay, I must have been in this one. Okay. Expand school choice, which is basically public funding for private schools. We already know that was that was completed January 29th. And the problem is a private school can decide whether they want you in the school or not. That's their choice. So they could turn away children for whatever reason. It doesn't even matter. And even if they do give you a voucher, the price of the school, that might be just like a discount for you. And you have to come up with the rest.
Yeah, also that they can teach your children propaganda along with the important skill things.
Yes, you could bring religion into the school. You could teach them propaganda. Yeah. So what else? Ban critical race. Critical race theory was never taught in schools anyway. So that's just for posturing. Ban critical race theory and gender ideology from public school. These are things that weren't taught in school anyway. It's just fear mongering, basically. Rescind binary Title IX rules that strengthen the prosecution of sexual assault and discrimination claims. Oh, that's scary.
I think that's the problem, or that's the thing we need to keep in mind is, as scary as it is of what they are, if they accomplish what they're trying to accomplish, their full wish list here, the point of this list and their ambitious attempts to quickly get through it is like a blitzkrieg tactic. They're trying to, like a shock doctrine, shock and awe us into complacency. So some of us have already kind of been shell-shocked into that. I'm trying to be a little bit more getting back out there and not being so depressive about stuff, but it's very difficult, right? Don't get black-pilled. So.
Yeah, it's all shock and awe. Like, they're really trying to do whatever they can to make us, as in people of color and Black people, hit the streets. And we don't need to fall for that. I think they're trying to declare martial law or something.
Yeah. Well, like,
and with their new, like, say again?
That would be the easy way out for them. If they could declare that, then they would be able to take, like, people wouldn't have any rights. They'd be able to do whatever they want without repercussion, even though they already are, basically. But people have this illusion that they can hold them accountable with the law at this time. But.
Yeah. they're already trying to like it's not constitutional birthright citizenship. So who's to say they wouldn't label you as a terrorist or whatever and then have you deported?
Yeah.
Deported to where? Who knows? Do they care? I don't think so.
Yeah. Well, and I was reading about the election reforms he's trying to make are about, it seems on the face of it pretty logical. Shouldn't everyone want people to have proof of citizenship if they're wanting to register to vote? But the sad fact is that there's like apparently 9% of eligible voters that don't have ready on-hand ID that they could find quickly if they needed to. And so there's like a financial cost to getting papers in the first place. And then there's all kinds of reasons why people don't actually have those papers on them all the time.
Because this is not a show me your papers society.
But that's what they want to turn it back into. So he's trying to disenfranchise like 21 million voters with the stroke of a pen, right? So
yeah, that's a good point, Yanina. I keep saying I want to say your Nina. Declare martial law and black people become slaves again because imprisonment is slavery. According to the 13th Amendment, it is for sure. Yeah, I don't know what the plan. That would be it'd either be that or deportation. Because he was trying to get like, I don't know which countries to agree to having people deported to their country. I just can't remember which countries it was.
Sean says, thanks, Obama. Yeah.
Yeah, for real. It's been downhill since Obama. If he would have did what he said he was going to do, we would be in a much better position. But he didn't. He took his 3 branches of government and squandered them. And that really pissed everybody off. Because even some Republicans were secretly voting for Obama because they wanted, the promise of what he was offering. But that was just hopey changey stuff. He didn't really do anything that would make us a better place, unfortunately.
It's kind of sad how desperate in a position that most of us are, that we are so willing to fall for the hopey changey promise that amounts to nothing actually. But it works every time somehow. Yeah, I didn't.
Yeah.
Didn't quite read up enough.
Yeah,
about
he did.
to know that. But thank you, Rondo. Sorry.
Yeah, he's an op for sure. He did remove habeas corpus right from under our, nobody talked about it. After the fact, people became aware of it. Yeah, he's just a continuation of Reagan. We've been downhill since Reagan, but it really started. What's the word? Progressing exponentially after Obama. Before it was like, I guess it was a little too slow.
So important.
Now it's just like jump off the cliff.
It's so important to take that long view though, because it really makes everything clear. You understand that it's not just like in Canada, they've been doing this fuck Trudeau stuff. Everyone's saying Trudeau's destroyed Canada. If Trudeau hadn't been in there, everything would be fine. Sorry to break it to you, whatever. When you blow out to the bigger picture, you really see that he's just the latest in a long line of people making all these same decisions. So.
Back to my point about April 5th, like the way that he's trying to draw us out is crazy. Like, how do you say something as crazy as we're going to segregate federal buildings again? Like, I guess the DEI, abolish the DEI, didn't work the way they wanted it to. They wanted us to protest then. We did protest. We are still protesting, y'all, aren't we? No Walmart, no Target, no Lowe's, no Home Depot, no Ace, no no Amazon. We're still doing that, right, everybody? Because their stocks are falling. So it is working. So buy local, go to local stores, try to avoid. You can use Amazon to look for things that you need and then see who's actually selling it. Now, what sucks about that is the person who's actually selling it, you go to their website, it costs more. So I don't know if Amazon is giving the discount or they require them to provide a discount to be on Amazon's platform. So that kind of sucks. Oh, Snarky's here.
How's it going, Snark? Good to see you.
There and to see that, you know, the government is the one forcing private companies to end their DEI programs. It's like, wait a minute, I thought this was supposed to be the free market. What happened to the free market? Oh, that was fake too? Okay. Costco is going to court with the government because they're demanding that they in their their DEI programs, and Costco was like, no, not doing it. So go get a Costco membership. But anyway, the segregating federal, like, that just sounds so ridiculous that it's almost like, okay, you're obviously trying to like taunt us into going into the streets, obviously. But you know, Black people don't take nothing seriously. We laugh
Or
at everything. So I have something I want to play for you.
to distract people with outrageous claims that are not actually likely to happen in reality, like with making Canada the 51st state. You know how many people have said those words since they said that's what they're going to do, right? Even though, let's all, hopefully we'll all be there in 10 years to see what really happens. I highly doubt that Greenland, Canada, any of that is going to come true. Panama Canal, right? Maybe Panama Canal. They're going to want their hands on that one.
Yeah, the Panama. Yeah, that's probably on that list.
Yeah.
Well, we all know that he wants the Panama Canal back. That sucks. You're Nina.
Yeah. Sorry to hear. My condolences.
Yeah, and she's also saying Amazon got government subsidies. They give a discount to the companies. So I'm not exactly sure if that's how it works on the platform, though, because like Walmart gets government subsidies, and most of Walmart employees have to use government assistance because they're not paid enough, or they don't let them work full-time hours, you know, so they don't have to give them health care. And Walmart's like the biggest welfare queen there is.
Yeah, I'd have like at least this much more respect for capitalists if they weren't always such hypocrites and trying to be bigger welfare queens than the rest of us, right?
Yeah.
Of course, they have to be that way.
I definitely Old Man Barker says he swore BlackRock just bought the canal. I wouldn't be surprised, but that's something we have to look up.
That is something that we should, anyone should check that out. If that's something that's true, we would all be better to be aware of that.
So I have this is a funny, you know, there's still sundown towns in America, correct?
Yeah.
Yes. And I assume everybody knows what a sundown town is. But this is in response to the segregating federal buildings. It's just a joke, but it's funny. I always have to start it over because Facebook sucks.
Sure. I didn't believe it when they said one of you made your way out here. It looks like
I got a buffer.
you a long way from Shamrock Farm.
He said, well, I'll be sure. I'll be sure is R&B singer. So that was it. It was hard to hear it, but that's what he said.
I didn't know the forecast was causing for snow. It's looking a little clear to me.
We were just stopping through because we heard the town had amazing food.
Yes, it's good food out here. Good eats, good seasoning. But we don't really take too kindly to you coming out here and scaring the locals. If we wanted to get hypothermia, we'll go out to the ski resort in Colorado. Anybody ain't told you that this is a good old sun-up town, so you got about a good eye. What's it say? It's getting better. With that here.
With that here.
5 more minutes before that sun get nice and hot. And we want you to get out of here safely now. We wouldn't want the milk to spoil. That's your cue to get the fuck on. But I'll be sure.
I just thought that was hilarious. We don't take nothing seriously. Instead of getting mad, we're just making jokes about it. We don't give a damn.
Gallows humor stuff, right? Like been through such rough times, you gotta kind of make jokes about it to make peace with it, I guess, somehow.
Yes, because if you don't laugh, you might start crying. So laughter is much better. Much better. With that being said, I do need to check on Black Life. Let me just check the comments. Oh, you're in Illinois. She's surrounded by sundown towns. Oh, that sucks.
Hopefully that will change sooner rather than later, but that's a lot of towns, a lot of work to do. So
I do have one comment from this. Companies not their own personal workers, like how Walmart got the subsidies to house Black products on their shelf. They've taken them down, and they've taken some of them down. Well, a lot of Black product owners were going on social media saying, don't buy my products out of Walmart. Like, don't go. Just, we'll figure it out. Just go on our website or something, but don't buy them out of their stores if that's how they want to act. Except for Tabitha. Everybody knows who Tabitha is. Tabitha Brown, I think her name is. She said to just go in Target and Walmart and selectively purchase goods. So I was like, she's an opportunist. Like, she's not down for the cause. You got to watch how people move. She smiles and acts like she's so, I don't know. She acts like she's so loving and giving and down for Black people, but she's not down for that boycott.
Boycotts are more effective the more absolute they are. It doesn't work like a cheese grater, with a bunch of holes in it. You let too much wealth through to your enemy like that. So
Yep. Rondo says he'll be back in a bit, but we'll be gone. Is there anything else you want to say before we?
Well, I was wanting to talk a little bit about like gold reserves and stuff, because I feel like that's kind of interesting, and I'll just maybe at least mention briefly, fun little fact. I learned that Canada doesn't have any gold reserves. They got rid of them. So let me just share this.
Et tu, Brute?
Why the hell you as far as protecting national security, you think that that's a good idea? It doesn't really. But if you ever need an indication that Canada's completely, utterly cucked to the American like as a vassal to the American nation, or whatever. These kinds of decisions kind of tell it all, because now everyone around the world is shoring up their gold reserves, and we don't have any at all. Then we have to buy gold when the price is going up and up and up, right?
And up and up.
You want to buy it when it was low, not when it's high. But
Yeah.
so this is one of those things that Trudeau's gonna, like, they're all gonna put the albatross, hang it on Trudeau's neck. But if you look at the history of it, it's been going on for a really long time. And it's just one of those bizarre things that nobody really seems to have known until all of a sudden the public should have known about this or whatever, because it's like a huge blind spot. So, and it's interesting to look at the dates, right? Everything always seems to come back to 1971, right, when they got off the gold standard reserve. So I just want people to kind of be paying attention to what's happening in the gold markets. And then I just did a quick comparison with Australia, because Canada is often very similar as a nation to Australia, is like a vassal state to the west, and still a member of the Commonwealth and everything. They've had the British Crown intervening in their elections and stuff. So what's interesting is Australia is the opposite picture of Canada. They had hardly any gold reserves back in the 60s, and now they seem well prepared for whatever's going on. So I don't really know what that means, but it's interesting. And as far as everyone thinking, oh, gold will save us, it's always important to look up ask some questions like, did the gold standard work back in the day? Because there's a reason why all these central banks switched to fiat currency, because while fiat currency is too liquid and flexible, and that is its ultimate weakness, gold is too rigid and not liquid enough. And so we're going to have problems. This is all, to me, example that capitalism has not really resolved any of its contradiction. It was flawed, like a terminal failure from its inception, and all they've done for the past 300-400 years is make up bullshit gaslighting explanations, like, for what their solution is going to be so much better than the last solution they proposed. But it's just moving from the disaster of the gold standard to the disaster of fiat money to the disaster of cryptocurrency. And people all throughout all of that, the one thing that's the common thread is capitalism that they'll never give up on. So,
yeah.
Go ahead.
Well, first, hi, kill your egregores. But it's going to be interesting to see how all of this plays out, because the confidence, when everyone was really confident in America as a superpower, well, I guess they were, I mean, if you're evil, I guess they were smart in building all those military bases, and they have the might, to topple all these countries that have ideals that aren't capitalism, and so they can say, see, they can't, they're not able to sustain themselves, when really it's been coups all along. And I guess people weren't paying attention enough to know that, or had the language or the knowledge, because we were propagandized, right? But now in 2025, the more people are waking up to these concepts, I'm wondering how strong the dollar is going. Because the dollar is strong because of consumer confidence, right? Not because it's backed by anything. It's just backed by bullshit. So when the bullshit runs out, how fast are we going to fall? It's pretty scary.
That's the whole thing. That's where, as stupid as it seems like what they're doing is, everyone's very keen very quick to point out how like imbecilic or moronic what the ruling class is doing, or whatever. How can they possibly be still in charge because they're so incompetent? But everything that they're doing is like very diabolically calculated, and it's genius in its own way, because for whatever reason it should have all collapsed a long time ago, but because they're so willing to do those, like so shameless and morally unscrupulous, they're willing to do anything. There is no beyond the pale, no bridge too far, right? So when we're seeing genocides in Gaza and all kinds of suspicious things with coronaviruses and vaccines and stuff, this is what I mean when I'm saying they are willing to do anything to maintain power. And that's kind of the unaccounted for factor when people think that the economics are going to collapse any day now. It's not really about economics at the end of the day, right? It's just about cold, hard power and manipulation.
Speaking of cold, hard power and manipulation, Yonina, I am familiar with Tiffany Farms. Yes. She's in a racist ass town, and they are always trying to sabotage her farm, her property. Sometimes she's caught them on camera. So
I don't
know. Speaking of cold,
take a look.
Cold and evil. For me to send you the pictures of in-house car. Oh yeah, Snarky. Sure
that?
can. We're on Discord together, aren't we? Snarky's gonna give me some in-house garden tool tips.
Sounds good. That's something that I maybe can be a bit distracted from, but yes, we should all be trying to pull ourselves off screen and develop some useful life skills if we need to get through an apocalypse. So.
Morpheus says America is just pretending our goal is still here.
Yeah, that's a funny story about Fort Knox. I really feel like they definitely have robbed the reserve quietly, and now that attention's been called back to it, they are quickly trying to replenish the stolen reserves, if they're doing that at all. But I feel like at least some of the gold got stolen, probably. That's my speculation on that.
That was kind of you. Kill your egregores. He said due distance just wrapped up. We're actually about to wrap up too, though.
Oh, really? Did they? Oh.
Yeah, and he said he told people to come here. That was very kind of you. We appreciate that. Definitely do. But yeah, I really should go check on I know she's in there bawling her eyes out and going down a rabbit hole of sadness. If I know anything about her, I know she's working herself up to bottom out soon. So I should go check on her.
Yeah, let me not keep you any more longer then. So thank you everyone for joining us tonight. Please like, share, and subscribe.
Yeah.
Next week.
Don't forget Political Matrix, 7 p.m. on Sundays. That's their new time, 7 p.m. on Sundays. And AM Wake?
AM Wake Up.
Correct? AM Wake?
AM Wake Up.
Okay. Oh, AM Wake Up. Okay. Check
Steve
them out as well. And Rondo, yes. The Federal Reserve note is backed by war and misery. Yes.
One of the things that falls and collapses with all this chaos be the Federal Reserve, because that's something that's been a demon over everyone's head for the last century.
We love you too. We love all of you comrades. We have a little family here, and we really appreciate you. So if that's all, I think I might have had one more something funny to play on the way out.
Sounds good.
Oh, yeah. This is super damn petty. I'm just gonna be petty with it. It's a real quick video about a Republican lawmaker kind of humiliating, but he deserves it. So he deserves it. So I'm just gonna do it. To hell with it. Anyway, see you guys Thursday. See you guys Thursday, and have a good week.
Yep, hang in there.
I don't know why this thing is not. I
hope April's better for everyone than March was for us. I'm looking forward to it, even though there's a few things that I've been hearing globally that April's going to be lots of fun for. But personally, I think it should be at least get some money coming in, so we'll be looking a bit better. So
yeah,
anyway.
My birthday's in April. That's good.
Oh, nice. We'll have to do a little birthday stream.
Yeah, I was going to celebrate the Holly Festival this Saturday, but it's supposed to rain, so that sucks. I went and bought my colors and everything because they sell them for like $5 for a cup, and I'm just like, I'm just going to order mine and bring them with me, but I don't think it's happening anyway. But anyway, here goes the I'm giving it away. Hold on. Here we go. Okay. Bye, everyone.
Enjoy the outro. See you next time.
On video this week during a sobriety test where he appeared to pee his pants while also clearly failing the sobriety test. This Republican lawmaker happens to be a state senator from Tennessee named Ken Yeager, who, by the way, not just any Republican state senator from Tennessee. No, he's actually the chair of the Republican caucus in the Tennessee state legislature. So he's a high-ranking Republican state senator from Tennessee. Ladies and gentlemen, your 2024 Republican Party. A Republican lawmaker was caught on video this week during